up in Ponyville, which is a small town. So I kind of gained a little respect for that. I just thought that was a pretty good take on something that, again, we've waited almost the whole series to kind of see. The next episode is Rarity Investigates. Rainbow Dash is accused of sending Spitfire away on a fake errand to replace her in the Wonderbolts. And it basically just turns out that it's actually Wind Rider that actually was responsible for the thing. After Rarity goes through this film noir-like mystery to find out that Rainbow Dash is in fact innocent, that it was actually just Wind Rider staged on the whole thing. That way Rainbow Dash wouldn't be in the line for taking his record that he's had for so long. And he felt like if he took Rainbow Dash out of the Wonderbolts, she would not break his record, therefore he'd still be known for that infamous record. And basically, because of that, I guess, ego and greed, that's what caused him to do that, and he basically got discharged from the Wonderbolts, and in the end, Rainbow Dash was able to take his place instead. Definitely a great episode, especially since it kind of advances more on Rainbow Dash achieving her dream of wanting to be in a Wonderbolt, something, again, we've seen since episode 1, or at least since season 1. Alright, Made in Manhattan. This is like the third consecutive Rarity episode, which I don't have a problem with that, but somehow it is. And basically, Made in Manhattan, Applejack and Rarity are summoned by the map to go to Manhattan to find their old friend Coco Palmel in need of reviving her neighborhood's community theater. Basically, it's them wondering how the two of them are meant to go to this area and help out, especially Applejack, who feels like it's a big city and she's a country girl, so it doesn't make any sense to her why she's needed down there. So she almost feels useless until she uses her, I guess, strength to help set up and stage a very small town park stage, and it just ends up attracting a lot of audiences, especially through the play that they decided to schedule. And in the end, it just kind of helps Coco. In the end, it just helps Coco with what she was wanting to achieve, and basically it just picks up the theater again. And that's basically. Sorry, that was just so messed up and raunchy with that, but anyway, the play ends up being a success. The theater opens back up, and everybody's more accepted to the theater again. Basically, if you've seen Sing, this is basically the episode that came out a year and a half before this with Applejack and Rarity, and I don't know, it's just, if you've seen the movie Sing, the two plots are kind of alike thinking back on it, even though this one obviously came first. Again, they help, long story short, they help Coco, and Rarity and Applejack serve their purpose for the map, and they go back to Ponyville. The next episode takes place within the same time period as that, and it's the Brotherhood Social, where Applejack is disappointed that, or Apple Bloom is disappointed that Applejack is leaving to Manhattan, and so she won't be there for the Sisterhood Social. So Macintosh, being the big brother and feeling left out, decides to fill in and act like a long-lost cousin named Orchard Blossom. Basically, everybody sees through the disguise. The funniest part is that Macintosh talks a whole lot in this episode than he does in any other episode combined almost. And the whole time he's speaking in a very feminine voice. But again, everybody can see through his coverage. Even the judge know. It's basically because they forget how to have fun, and because Vic Macintosh wreaks a whole lot of havoc trying to make him and Applejack win. That's what gets them disqualified, not the fact that that it was a guy posing as a girl in the show. In the end, it's just basically the two, Apple Blue and Macintosh, having a heart-to-heart talk, and it's just basically him later admitting that he misses being idolized by Apple Bloom as much as Applejack, and he just feels like he's not really as big of an influence, let alone there for her anymore. And she just reassures that he is, and that he'll always be her big brother, and she'll always be his little sister. just a very funny episode again, especially because Macintosh is just not only speaking in this episode, but the whole time he's speaking like a girl. Next one, which is I guess everybody's favorite episode of the season. No, this might be. Yes, I was right. Everybody's favorite episode of the season. I take it. Cuties, Crusaders of the Lost Ark. And the Cutie Mark Crusaders help their classmate Pipsqueak when their class's student president election against Diamond Tiara, who was created by her mother, spoil Rich into failing to live up with their family's social image of always winning. It's another heel to face episode, basically. And in the end of the episode, they not only, I guess, somewhat in a way befriend Diamond Tiara, and I guess with that Silver Spoon as well. Seeing as how even Silver Spoon kind of didn't really like Diamond Tiara as much anymore, or at least as much as she used to. And it basically just ends with the Crusaders wanting to help Diamond Tiara, help her get through her family troubles. And in the end, they just kind of realize that, basically Diamond Tiara realizes that her purpose is to be in control of everybody, or at least to take the lead, if anything. And that just causes the Cutie Mark Crusaders to realize that their whole purpose for being, basically their whole purpose and the way they get their cutie marks is finding out that they're meant to help other people with cutie marks or who don't have cutie marks find what their purpose is and find their cutie marks. So basically, their whole purpose has been what they've been trying to do since season 1, and that is to help people find their own cutie marks. And I just thought that was a very unique twist. They did it in a great way. Patton Oswalt, if I'm getting his name right, could not have worded that any better, especially since he did a great way of not spoiling the episode. But it was definitely a great episode. The celebration at the end was definitely needed and definitely necessary. And I just love the fact that it was Applejack, Rarity, and Rainbow Dash congratulating the Cutie Mark Crusaders as if it was like the whole big sister, little sister accomplishment. And I just like the fact that of all the 3 characters they used to show that accomplishment, it was those 3 members of the main 6. Episode 19, the one where Pinkie Pie knows. Basically, Cadence and Shining Armor are on their way to Ponyville, and they have a secret. And Pinkie Pie finds out the secret, and it is the fact that Princess Cadence is actually pregnant with I guess filly, not a baby in this point. And Pinkie Pie is doing her best not to tell everybody, and you can just kind of see the how difficult it is for Pinkie Pie, just barely making it through the whole episode, not doing so, especially with just all these little hints coming out of the way, with her trying her best not to reveal it to her friends accidentally telling her that if she does ruin a surprise, that it's not really, it'd be kind of unforgivable, which kind of pursues her and makes it difficult for her more to not say the secret. And basically it's like almost the second she's about to reveal it, that's when Cadence and Shining Arm come in and they reveal the secret themselves through a scavenger hunt. And Cadence kind of congratulates Pinkie Pie, saying that I bet it was hard for her to keep the secret. She says that it wasn't, but she breaks the 4th wall as the camera goes black and basically shakes her head, no, it wasn't, as in, yes, it was extremely hard to do. But again, it was just so fun to see Pinkie Pie, out of all characters, just try her hardest, and you can see her try her hardest of not trying to spoil the surprise about the baby shower, just about the baby itself. Episode 20, Heartbreakers. And Pinkie Pie invites Applejack and her family to spend Heartswarming Eve together at the Pie Rock Farm. The Apples basically find out that the Pies have different traditions than they do, and vice versa. It seems they feel like they try a little. I think they try to meet a middle ground, but because each family is so different, it basically ends with them building more tension than resolving any. To where they basically end up knocking down the Holder's Boulder, which is the centerpiece for the farm. and a part of their huge traditions as well. Basically, they apologize. They help bring the bowler back up the hill. They realize that they do have differences, but they do have they do have some similarities in common, especially with the help of them moving the bowler again back up to the farm. Each family accepts their differences with one another, and they end up having a great heartwarming get together like they originally planned on, even though it wasn't any way that either family would have imagined. Episode 21, Scare Master. Fluttershy is forced to go out on Nightmare Night to buy food for Angel instead of shutting herself in her cottage as usual. She decides to use this opportunity to join her friends in the festivities, putting together a horror attraction to avoid letting her overly fearful nature ruin the fun for them. Eventually, she ends up scaring them at the Apple family corn maze to where even Applejack wasn't even a part of it. Probably not even Macintosh, or maybe I can't remember if Macintosh and the other Apple families were, but at least Applejack wasn't. Even though she did terrify him like she wanted to, she decides that she probably won't do it again because she kind of didn't like it, and she didn't like the fact of seeing her friends in actual danger. And so they all kind of accept that. They all kind of are, I guess, surprised and respectful of the fact that she did in fact scare them. And she basically kind of eases her fear of just being afraid, especially of Nightmare Night. And I don't know, it's just a great, interesting Fluttershy episode, and I just thought it was funny how they did a Halloween twist to it, especially since obviously Halloween's one of the scarier holidays, or Nightmare Night in Equestria, but how that's supposed to be, I guess, the scariest of the holidays, and that's just the polar opposite of Fluttershy, and I thought this was a great twist on how they did that. Episode 22, What About Discord? And the Twilight returns from a 3-day break after reorganizing her library along with Spike to find her friends have spent a memorable and hilarious bonding activity with Discord. Basically, it's just Discord kind of trying to intentionally make Twilight jealous, and basically the whole lesson in the mix of it, even though whether it was intentional or not by Discord, was that you don't always got to be with your friends or your friends. Basically, you're going to have moments where you're not going to be a part of an event, or one of your friends is going to be a part of the event, and you just kind of have to learn to accept that you don't always have to be a part of what your friends are doing, or your friends don't have to be a part of everything you're doing. It just golden. And again, I think the fact that it was basically Discord teaching a moral, but being Discord, I don't think he was really trying to be the moral type, or if he was just trying to be his chaotic self like usual. And I just thought that was, again, kind of an interesting episode, because it's just funny seeing Discord. And also with this episode and another one that happened earlier on in the season, you actually see Starlight Glimmer in the background watching over the main six. Episode 23, Twilight and Fluttershy are called by the map to a valley within the Smoky Mountains to stop a feud between two families. It's kind of like the whole Kentucky-Virginia family feud that went on. And basically both sides of the two hills are fighting over each other, but yet they need each other for one's building skills and one's growing skills. Eventually they make up their differences, they decide to work together, and they realize despite what started the feud in the first place years ago, it's not worth bickering over, and the whole purpose of the valley was for the two groups to get along, not to fight with one another, and that they should go back to doing that instead of just fighting over a ridiculous feud that nobody remembers what the initial cause was for. Again, I'm from Kentucky, so it kind of hits a little more close to me because I kind of almost got all the references of what they were doing with that episode. So it was just kind of an interesting one to see because of it being based off of a real feud that happened in the United States. Episode 24, almost there. The main attraction, and a charity concert is being held at Sweet Apple Acres featuring Countess Gloria, which is a famous pop singer and an old friend of Applejack that she knew at camp. Basically, she's wondering why the Countess isn't acting. She's wondering why she's acting a whole lot differently, and everybody's trying to say that that's the life of a pop star, whereas Applejack disagrees. She basically finds out that the manager's the one pulling the strings, and that he's the reason why it looks like Countess is acting as bitter as she is, when really it's just her following orders and giving the indication that she has no choice, so she's basically being pressured to do it. They basically they expose the manager for who he is. He gets fired, and at the end, Countess makes a song about being just a pony, which is a song that I remember a lot of fans liked at the time. And it's just interesting because it's just interesting because the voice actress and singer for Countess was a very talented, or is a very, very talented Broadway singer and actress named Lena Hall. So it was just very interesting seeing My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic just kind of bring that to their show from actual real life Broadway performers, or just performers in general. Kind of like how they did with season 4 with Weird Al Yankovic in a sense. And then finally, last but not least, the Cutie Remark. And basically, Starlight Glimmer's back at the end of the season, taking her revenge on Twilight Sparkle. She goes back to the time where Rainbow Dash made her first Sonic Rain Boom, which I like this episode and this season finale because, mainly because if anybody saw my review for the first season, one of the things I liked about season 1 was episode 23, which is when you find out that the main 6 got all their cutie marks because of all one single event that they all just happened to witness, and it was Rainbow Dash's own Sonic Rainbow. And in this episode, which touches light on that, which is kind of like how they did with episode 99 with Gilda, like they did with episode 5 of season 1. In this one, Starlight is going back in time to trying to change that and stop that from happening, and it just creates a whole lot of alternate universes that's worse than the last, which shows a villain from the previous seasons, whether the season premiere or season finale, just taking over Equestria and just making it a giant dystopia to the point that at one chance in the past it's just a giant wasteland. There's nothing there. And it's just interesting how that one moment of the Sonic Rain Boom that triggered the whole main 6, and I guess in a sense what made the elements of harmony through the main 6 kind of reunite with one another. It's just kind of interesting how they touched light on that episode. And it's just great how they did a whole time loops around it. I'm definitely a sucker for time travel episodes. And again, I thought it was kind of rather quickly, but I've already seen the first Equestria Girls movie by this point, so I kind of accepted it and just kind of, I guess, had a little more respect for it than I would have if I didn't see that movie or I didn't know that was the way My Little Pony kind of does their heel-to-face movements. And basically, she just sees the error of her ways, just seeing how disastrous she's causing things, and it's mainly just because she's lonely, she has no friends, so she feels like she needs to take Twilight's friends away from her, which is really what the whole purpose was. It wasn't really so much to get back at Equestria or anything. It was just really more about defriending Twilight in the main 6. But however, the chain reaction of that is, again, creating dystopia in Equestria, which shows just how important that Rain Boom was, and again, just triggers a whole heel-to-face moment again, to where Starlight is asking Twilight to teach her the ways of the friendship, which introduces a whole unique twist for the upcoming season 6. And again, I just thought because of all that, all coinciding all at once, I just thought it was a great season finale. It might have been slow at some parts, but it was great overall. It might just barely be the best season finale so far that they've done, or up to this point, series-wise, excluding season 6, because I haven't gotten there yet with reviews. But like I said, I just thought it was a great episode, great season. Again, going back to the whole first and second half season, just feeling like they're two different things. But anyway, that's my review of Season 5 of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Again, definitely my second favorite season thus far. I liked how each of the 213 episode intervals, we kind of had a different atmosphere, but it revolved around the same story arc of Cutie Marks and the Cutie Mark map. And even Twilight, Starlight Glimmer for that matter. Which again went back to Cutie Marks and Destiny and all that. But again, just great season. Definitely liked it. Definitely liked every single episode in this season, especially the latter half. And I hope you guys did as well. Sorry for anybody that had to sit through all these 41 minutes of this video. Thanks for watching. I only got a couple more videos left. Then you guys don't have to see me for a while until the series comes back on. And with that being said, thanks for watching. Peace out and bro hoof. Have a good one.